Man Alive is 5 years old as of yesterday. So, occasion for rejoicing on my part, perhaps less rejoicing than I might have hoped for 5 years in, but the book has been very good for me, if for no one else. It has gifted me with a second volume in the biography of my philosophical history, utterly unexpected on my part. I thought I was done. I thought I was writing the summary of what I knew without understanding that I was writing a new way of knowing about what I knew, and the new way of knowing about what I knew led me to so much more that is new and interesting. And I have been much benefited by this. I know there are other people who have reaped benefits from Man Alive, and I'm glad of that. I'm very grateful for that. But I know that the benefits that I've realized are so much greater than anyone else has had that I hope that other people catch up in due course. But I race on apace. I used a graphic yesterday on Facebook that I made a while ago, an algorithmic expression of the moral philosophy described in Chapter 7 of Man Alive. And I love it, I love it, I love it. It is truly an algorithm for moral philosophy. I have reduced moral philosophy to its essence and described how it must eventuate, how it must work given what we are as organisms, as things. This is how we must respond to the universe regardless of how we feel about it. It is a map that describes the territory. It is not the territory itself, but it is a perfect description. It is ontologically consonant, and accordingly it describes what actually does happen, iteratively, continuously throughout the entire span of your life. It is a summary of moral philosophy in one algorithm, which was a real triumph for me. I'm delighted by this. If no one else is, I am. But I despair of the entire prospect of persuading adults, more so with every passing day. And as you will have noted in my discussions over the past few years, I have refocused my attention on children. I am much more interested in persuading children, particularly toddlers. You can't persuade toddlers, which is a funny way of saying it. I'm interested in persuading toddlers. But what I'm interested in is setting the vector, the emotional vector of preconceptual children, such that when they wake up to abstract conceptual reasoning, they wake up in pursuit of splendor and not in pursuit of squalor. How simple is that? I want to help toddlers discover the world of splendor so that when they wake up, they move that way instead of the other way. This is something I want you to do too. But I have more than enough to talk about from Man Alive that I choose to talk about none of it, instead choosing to direct you to the book. Go read it. If you haven't read it, read it. If you haven't read it lately, reread it. There's so much that I'm talking about in that book that is expressed in the work that I'm doing with children right now. That part alone is funny to me, but what's most amusing to me about Man Alive is Chapter 12. We find the world we're looking for. We find the world we're looking for. I'm in love with the world of children. I always have been. And here I am rhapsodizing children and investing great hopes in their ability to redeem Western civilization, not by being Atlas now, but by learning how to be Atlas later. Not Atlas alone, but Atlas among brothers. A worldwide brotherhood of hoplite fathers who together hold the world on their shoulders and keep it from falling apart. Man Alive was written for those fathers. It's a book that's written for fathers. If you read it, you'll see it. It's in the subtext all over the place, especially in, I want to say, Chapter 11, the very end of Chapter 11. I'm really leaning hard on fathers because I know that Man Alive is written for fathers. It's written for guys who need to figure out what to do next, because it's their responsibility to know what to do next. We are now in a situation where knowing what to do next can matter a great deal, so go read the book. It won't take you 3 hours. In the meantime, I've done a whole lot more since then, and I'll do a whole lot more from now on. But I keep thinking about forward summaries of big ideas. Hard work pays off is one that we've done a whole lot around here. Usus est magister optimus. You can't say it that way in Latin, but you can in. You can't say it that way in English, or you say it in Latin. But one that has impressed itself upon me lately is the ultimate expression of fatherly captaincy of his family, and that expression is "look where you're going." You say it just that way. Look where you're going. Look where you're going. Look where you're going. Look where you're going. Fathers say it all the time to direct their children's attention to the awareness of the reality going on around them to make sure that they comport their behavior accordingly. We seek to maximize our benefit from social concourse, and a way of doing that is by minimizing the cost that we impose upon our neighbors. And this is something that fathers uniquely do for their families, is teach their children how to comport themselves in public to minimize the conflict that they might introduce. Dad does that by saying, look where you're going, but it's wonderful philosophical advice. This is advice for a lifetime from your father. Look where you're going. Look where you're going. Mind what goes into your mind. Attend to what is being done around you and what is being done to you by people whose motives you don't know. Look where you're going. So this is my advice to everyone I can talk to from, say, age 2 to 102. Look where you're going. And here's to another 5 big years for Man Alive, big years for me, if not for anyone else. But I hope they're big years for you too. Bless you. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.